Hey, my name is Joe,
And I'm Mary Beth.
and this is the best of Gen X.
We are in our 40s.
And we're siblings,
We'll talk about adulting in a world so different from the one we grew up in,
so excuse us while we save a generation.
one episode at a time.
Let's go.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Mary Beth.
How are you?
Good. You?
I'm pretty stressed.
Why?
Pretty stressed out. Well, it's been a stressful week. I feel like leading up to any kind of vacation, life just throws everything it possibly can at you so that, you're basically earning your time off.
Yeah, it's been probably the busiest day of the work week, and of course, it's the day before we leave.
Yeah, so as of this recording, our flight actually leaves super early in the morning tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Our next episode, of course, will tell you all about our adventures. But I feel like we just got back.
I know. It's like I feel like we just got back, but then I also feel as if the trip was a lifetime ago.
Right.
Seems weird.
I know. Well, we have a big episode today.
Don't we?
Yeah, long time coming. I've wanted to talk about this, and we finally found a reason to do it.
Yeah, so today we're talking about a movie I somehow managed to avoid for almost 30 years. Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet.
Which is shocking because it was basically my cinematic obsession back in the 90s. I finally got you to watch it, and we didn't stop there. We made it a whole movie night.
Yeah, it's Shakespeare, but with guns, fast cars, crotch grabbing, a drag show, and Leonardo DiCaprio's floppy hair. So, obviously, I have thoughts.
And that's why we invited backup for this conversation. We invited a guest who's seeing Shakespeare with fresh eyes, not as a throwback, but as a brand new part of her world. Lila is joining us. She's 14, a freshman in high school, which I cannot believe, who's always been an avid reader and thinker with a real interest in Shakespeare that goes back earlier than you all might think. We thought she'd bring a totally different perspective to the movie.
So today, instead of just, did you like it or not? We're breaking it down, what surprised us, what worked, what didn't, and how this movie hits differently depending on whether you're Gen X, middle-aged and late to the party, or a freshman who's just starting to study Shakespeare in school.
It's nostalgia, fresh eyes, and a little Gen Z wisdom, all wrapped up in fish tanks, gunfights, and a killer soundtrack. Before we dive in, we'd like to welcome today's guest, Lila. Hello, Lila.
What's
Hey, Mary
up?
Beth. Hey, Joe.
Thanks for being here.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, so we invited you over. We had a movie night here to watch Romeo and Juliet. I loved sitting there and watching the both of you see it for the first time. Are you excited to talk about this? I've heard that you have taken just ferocious notes.
Copious notes.
Yes, I did. Me and my mom went to Half Price Books and bought a Shakespeare book.
Aw.
And now I have all of his stories. I'm so happy.
Oh, I'm excited for you. So when I said that your interest in Shakespeare goes back pretty early, so I used to go to D.C. as a chaperone when I was teaching every year, and I remember being in one of the I don't remember if it was one of the art museums or what have you, but I bought you a collection of Shakespeare plays for children, and I think ever since the second grade you've been reading those.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you even out of the blue have reached out to me and asked me questions about Macbeth. And I love it.
That's my favorite one.
Nerd alert.
Nerd
Nerd
alert.
alert. Nerd
Hey,
alert.
wear that badge. Wear it with pride. Nerd. My fellow nerd.
Notice how she did not give me those types of gifts. I did not require those types of gifts.
Yeah, so I figured of all people you would be interested in this particular topic, and so I'm excited. Yay, we're going to talk about it. And if we haven't mentioned it, Lila, your mom, is our favorite physical therapist, Andy, who's been on the show a couple times.
Yeah, guest host.
And guest host
While
when
we were in, or at least while I was en route to Scotland.
Yes, to Scotland.
Yeah, this is neat.
All right. So before we dig in to what surprised us or what worked, I just want to give a little framework. So Baz Luhrmann's version, you might know him as the director of Moulin Rouge. I think that's one of his most popular other films. But his version is special because he keeps Shakespeare's original words, but he tosses them into this radical visual world called Verona Beach, as the real play takes place in Verona. So where swords are guns, the Capulets and Montagues are like heavy power players, and music and costume do a lot of the heavy lifting in this movie. So for a $14.5 million film, it wound up grossing over $147 million globally. It opened number 1 in the U.S. box office in 96. And today it's still considered the highest grossing Shakespeare movie of all time, which I think is amazing. You can look at adaptations that have made more, but this was true to the original play with some... he changed around the order of some of the dialogue, but he kept true to... So we're not talking about an adaptation. We're talking about Shakespeare's actual words. So it is in that term, it is the highest grossing Shakespeare movie of all time. And Joe has some info on what makes the soundtrack so amazing.
Yeah, so the soundtrack includes, bands and artists such as Garbage. Remember Garbage, Gen Xers?
That's one of my favorites. In fact, when we were in our, I want to say late teens because we had fake IDs, but we would go to those hole-in-the-wall karaoke bars. I would always sing Garbage.
Lila, you're not allowed to have a fake ID, by the way. As soon as I asked, do we remember Garbage? And Lila starts shaking her head.
One of my favorite songs.
Yeah, there's Garbage, and Lila's going to laugh at this one, but you remember Butthole Surfers?
Yes.
Butthole Surfers was one. I cracked up when I saw that. What else was on there? Radiohead.
Look, it's probably my favorite. Now, this is hard because Radiohead's amazing. They're otherworldly. But I would have to say their song on this soundtrack is one of probably my favorite Radiohead song of all time.
So good. Everclear. Mm-hmm. There might have been the Cardigans.
The Cardigans.
Yeah, there was some classic.
Love me, love me.
Yeah, so there were some good ones there. There's a few kind of indie type ones that I don't think people would probably recognize as well, but yeah.
But the music was such a huge part of this stunning film.
I really enjoy, I'll just, to be fair, I would say that Romeo and Juliet is probably not my thing as much as others, but I really enjoy when the musical score, like the soundtracks, like propel, movies to a new level. It's just like Top Gun, Forrest Gump, those kind of soundtracks.
Yes.
I just love when it takes it to a movie to that different level.
Yes.
Just something as simple, probably not simple, but you get what I'm saying. Something's kind of...
It enhances...
separate from the actual movie itself.
It enhances the drama on screen that's unfolding. And you're right. It propels the story. It propels the emotion of the viewer. This soundtrack in particular is just super special, I think. Okay, so let's start with our first impressions. What is a word or a phrase that sums up your reaction to this movie and why? Who wants to go first? Lila, you want to go?
Guest first.
So, my first impression, I was like, oh, I really love this movie because, just the music was great. I really liked the intro, how it started with the TV and then more towards the end, I was like, I really hate this movie. I really hate it, but I still love it. So it's kind of like a love-hate relationship.
Okay. I can understand that. Is it because of the tragedy itself?
Yes, I wish he would have looked down.
Yeah,
really... 2 seconds. 2 seconds. He could have looked down and everything would have been happily ever after, jolly and dandy.
Yeah, I think one of the genius moves of Baz Luhrmann in this particular adaptation of Romeo and Juliet is that he chose to not have Romeo die first and let minutes go by before Juliet wakes up. But he added so much suspense. It's like watching Titanic, just keeping your fingers crossed that maybe by some miracle it won't sink this time. You're thinking maybe it'll work out because she's opening her eyes, she's moving her fingers, but in the actual play, he's dead,
long before
she wakes up.
Is. Yeah.
But I just love the way that he sort of interwove that moment for both of them. And I think it added so much drama and so much heart to it. Like instead of sobbing at a couple dying,
you're like on the edge of your seat. You're like, oh my God.
You're like super sobbing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it makes
totally.
it. I think it makes it more tragic than, the
Oh, yeah.
book or the original.
Yeah, because
I think
you
it
feel
makes it 2 times more tragic. 'Cause
Absolutely.
You're like, they were so close.
So close. They could have ran off and lived happily ever after.
Yeah, I remember the night we watched it. Lila was super frustrated at that part.
I was so mad.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
was
a fan
so
of that
mad.
part.
But so that's not really a crack on the movie itself, but just the story of them both dying, which was tragic. I'm going to say for me, my word would be, I don't know, it's a cross between iconic, because in the 90s, this movie was everywhere and it felt huge and it sort of catapulted Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes' career. And then Titanic took his career off to the stratosphere. But
You and Titanic. Good grief.
I know, ever since I was in 4th grade. It was 1987, and Robert Ballard had discovered the Titanic wreckage 2 years before. And so in 1987, National Geographic comes out with this documentary, and I saw it and it was life-changing, and I've been interested ever since. It just so happened that my favorite stud in Hollywood, Leo, was going to be in it. So I felt like my heart was going to burst. So it'd be iconic, but also life-changing because, and this, I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I was away at college, my first semester of college when this came out, and I saw it 13 times in the movie theater. I was so captivated by it, mesmerized by this movie in every aspect. Just, I thought it was a work of art and so visually beautiful. And I thought, this is what I want to do. I want to move to Los Angeles. I want to go home, save money, move to Los Angeles, and make movies. I mean, so for me, it was iconic, but also life-changing. Now, I didn't end up doing that, but it did sort of ignite that passion to do, to live that life and to make movies that affected the audience the way I was affected. What about you, Joe? I'll punch you in the face. I want to crawl across this table and just get the look on your face.
I just don't have that much depth with the movie, but can you first admit how many times you saw it in the theater?
13.
Did you already say that?
Yeah.
I missed it? Okay, sorry.
See, you weren't even paying attention.
I just watch you.
Just like a bed bug. Everything's a joke.
So smug. I catch myself watching you explain things, and you're so passionate about it. It's crazy. I think from the very beginning, I remember you were very adamant about pay attention. The very beginning is
so important.
I said it was assaulting.
Assaulting. That's what you said.
The opening sequence at the gas station and the fight between the two, Capulets and the Montagues, that whole opening was visually assaulting, and I think it perfectly captures Baz Luhrmann's style. Like, he is not your typical director. Oh, he also did Great Gatsby, which is very similar. So
I didn't know he did Moulin Rouge.
Yeah.
Anyway, mine's probably a lot simpler. The only word I keep going back to for me watching it was intense.
Oh, yeah.
It's just
That's
intense.
a good word.
Yeah.
And I caught myself squinting through like most of the movie. So if I see something intense, whether it's a crazy war scene or just something that's overstimulating, there's just so much happening, and you have to keep like following the dialogue because it's different. Mm-hmm. And like you said, visually it's different, and then stuff moves so fast in it that I just was squinting the whole time.
Yeah. Is it kind of like, would you compare it to okay, you're watching a sad scene of a movie and you catch yourself having the sad face. And your
Yeah.
face is all scrunched up. And, yeah.
Yeah. It's something like that. But I think
Yeah.
I think when y'all left my house, I popped a couple ibuprofen. I squinted so much during the movie that I for real got a headache.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I feel like that was also because he uses a lot of fast scenes, where the camera moves really fast.
Oh, yeah.
So it was hard to like keep up because it's like the movie's so colorful and he's just moving the camera so fast, especially in the first scene where they're fighting.
Yeah.
And I
Super
was
quick
like, oh my
cutaways.
goodness.
Yeah.
The way the camera panned, I noticed, was a lot different. Is that like a signature for his stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I never saw Moulin Rouge or the other one you were talking
Yeah,
about.
because it's a way to. Well, we've talked at length about The Office, and one of the cool things about The Office, and one of the things that made it new and different when it came out, was that the camera itself was like a character. So like you were there in the office with them, and I feel like Baz Luhrmann's style is he pulls you into the screen by taking you on this roller coaster ride. So when you see the camera make such quick cuts and such quick pans, you feel like you're on a ride. And so it's a technique that is effective in pulling somebody in.
Yep.
And you can get a headache.
Yeah. I did.
All right, so we're already in different camps here a little bit, which is perfect. But now I want to talk about something I'm curious about. How does this movie land differently depending on when you see it? So, like, Joe's the first timer. I'm the Gen Xer who has loved it from the beginning. And we have a teen reader. Now, you guys haven't read it yet, have you?
No, not until the spring. I read it early, obviously, because I knew we were going to record this episode, so I had to over-prepare myself.
You're going to be super prepared in class.
Oh, yeah,
Does
I
your
know.
English teacher just adore you?
Yeah. He calls me Little Joe, actually.
Aw.
Yeah.
Not because of me, everybody.
Not
because of your
not
dad.
because of JoJo,
Explain.
because of my dad.
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, I assume it's because I act like my dad sometimes.
Is
Or
it
maybe I
because-
just remind him of my dad.
Is it because you're so opinionated and you have a lot to say about a lot of things?
Yeah, but I just don't say it because I'm like my mom.
You're kind of quiet, yes.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, how does this movie land differently? Joe, you go first this time. So
Okay.
watching it as an adult.
Yeah, because I told you that when it came out, I was 16, 17-ish. And I would say that I think then I was more focused on the visual part of it. Mm-hmm. And this time it landed differently because I was able to understand the dialogue more. Obviously, I knew the story to a degree, but I don't think I could follow the dialogue when I was a kid watching it. And I just only focused on the visual part of it and how crazy it was. Mm-hmm. But this time I was less focused on the visual. I still noticed it, but I was more able to focus in on the dialogue and understand it. It's probably because of age and maturity and just understanding life more and all that. But
Sure.
my focus was different. I trailed off listening to them as a kid.
Yes.
And just focused on the movements and like you said, the camera pans and the color and the music and the loud, the back and forth. And this time I focused more on the dialogue. It seemed like it was easier to follow.
Yeah.
I was able to stay more engaged in it this time.
I'm glad you said that. My students, now I didn't teach this in class, but I certainly talked about it. And year after year, my students had negative feedback about the movie, just insisting that so dumb. They have guns instead of swords, and they still talk Shakespeare's language. And I'm like, that's what's cool about it.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
That's the fun part. Thank you, Lila. Thank you. I feel like him updating everything, the music, the setting, the costumes, the guns, while still not really showing any technology that would date it too much. I feel like in updating the setting and everything else really makes it easy for anyone to understand Shakespeare. Because I would tell my students, I've seen that movie so many times, but after a few times, you can speak that language. It drips off the tongue. And and you can understand what, maybe not what each line means, but what each section of lines, each stanza perhaps, or a monologue, you understand what the characters are saying to each other for the most part. I think that helps the viewer.
Yeah, the visuals definitely help. It helps it make more sense, especially if you don't
It provides
read.
context, I think.
Yeah. So what was your reaction then, your first time reaction?
So, well, one, I feel like it was, looking at it from my perspective, obviously, it was kind of hard to follow the dialogue because I wanted to know what every single thing meant, and it was kind of hard to follow along. But like I said, the visual really did help because I was like, oh, okay, this is what's going on. I kind of know what's going on. I have no idea what they're telling each other, but I know what's going on. I mean, before we watched it, I kind of already knew, the story, the main plot line. They fall in love and then they die. Well, they kill themselves.
Forbidden love.
But yeah, I think it's just the visual helps. The dialogue was kind of hard to follow, though. I wanted to know what everything meant. And
Did it get easier as the film went on for you?
A little bit. I feel like if I read the book or read the story and then watched it again, I feel like the dialogue would make a little bit more sense. But I would need somebody, like you to be like, okay, this is what
Translating.
they're saying.
Yeah, because you, and I think we talked about that a little bit after it was over. I was like, you probably should have been familiar with the play first. But I was pretty impressed with how well you followed it, because you had a pretty strong reaction to it, and you wouldn't have had you not been interested and when couldn't follow it. I was pretty impressed for someone who had not seen it before or even read the play.
Yeah, and I think we did, if I remember correctly, closed captions. I think we
did
saw the words. So that helped some.
Mm-hmm. For me, so it came out when I was 18 and a freshman in college. Leonardo DiCaprio was everywhere. Claire Danes was that girl next door. The soundtrack was basically my car stereo for better part of a year. It felt to me bold and romantic and tragic all at the same time. Watching it again, I have to say it did not change. Like, okay, so for example, I watch the Twilight movies now, and I see how silly a lot of it is, even though I love it. I'm an OG Twilight fan. But watching it years later, you're like, this is kind of silly, but I still love it. I didn't feel that with Romeo and Juliet. It still felt as epic to me as it did when I first saw it. Although, because life has kicked my ass quite a bit since then, it doesn't affect me emotionally the way that it did. I mean, it shattered me emotionally. But not so much this time. I've sort of become bulletproof, as
You
it
held
were.
it together. I was going to say, you held it together.
Yeah, but I used to not be able to hold it together at all.
Yeah. So the three emotions were: Lila was to my right, pissed and frustrated. Mary Beth was to my left, like
swooning,
and I'm in the middle, squinting with a headache. So it was pretty interesting.
So three very different experiences.
Not only was I very mad, I also wanted to cry. I wanted to cry so bad. I was...
Do you cry at movies?
Depends on the movie. Most of the time I don't like watching sad movies because I know I'm going to cry and then I feel like a loser for crying.
You people. Embrace.
But Romeo and Juliet, I would watch it so many times over and over again, and I wouldn't care if I cried because it's such a good movie.
Oh, man. I was a mess.
Oh, yeah, I think it's a really good, like, there's one movie on Disney, The Good Dinosaur. I will never watch that movie again because I feel like a loser if I cry about it, because it's such a sad movie. The dad dies, and I'm like, no!
Mary Elizabeth knows me well enough.
Yes.
I grew up, you would never, like, I would cry around my sisters when I was being an idiot, like, just when it was just us, if we were fighting or whatever, being a little puss. But I'm telling you right now, when I was around friends in public, you would not see me cry, because I felt like it showed weakness. As you get older, you let all that stuff go when you're watching movies that invoke that emotion, because you don't ever want to be around me when I'm watching Remember the Titans, and Julius walks in the hospital, and Denzel has to tell him that Gary Battier is like
That
paralyzed.
doesn't make me want to cry.
Oh,
that's
my gosh.
that's just so sad.
I lose it every time.
At the end of the movie,
And I
my
don't
lip
care.
was trembling, my eyes were welling up, and I was shaking.
So yeah, let it just
It was horrible.
let it take you where it's going to take you.
Wait, The Good Dinosaur made you feel that way?
No, Romeo and Juliet.
oh.
Like I was
You
shaking.
hit it well.
I was shaking. My eyes were tearing up, and my lip was trembling. And I was like, "I'm gonna
That
cry.
final scene,
I'm gonna cry."
I'll tell you what I did like.
yeah. If it doesn't stir anything in you, you may not have a soul.
I did like how the dialogue was kind of set in that old time Shakespearean dialogue era or whatever, but the way the actors reacted, acted, played off each other, it was all modern, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the mannerisms and then like the hey bro kind of attitude towards like, the two friends.
Yeah, like handshakes and fist bumps and
Yeah, that part felt modern, so that was kind of neat.
teasing
And-
each other
yeah,
and
neat,
grabbing
unique.
the crotch.
'Cause they're doing that while they're saying "thou art."
Yeah.
to
lots
each
of
other.
lots of drag queen music.
So I
What's his
kind
name?
of dug that.
Mercutio.
I kind of dug that.
Yeah, because they make it so relatable.
Yeah, it was a cool twist while
Yeah.
keeping like integrity of the story.
Exactly.
know.
And that was Baz Luhrmann's mission. He was to make this movie as if Shakespeare were making this movie today. And so and Shakespeare appealed to the highest of the high. I mean, he had the Queen's court, and he appealed to the bottom rung of society. So Baz Luhrmann managed to make it relatable on every scale. And I love that nothing really dates it. So they were careful to have, I think I listened in an interview one time where Baz Luhrmann talks about the technology and how in one take Mercutio was wearing a Walkman or using a Walkman, and they cut that out, and they were careful to not get any rollerbladers on the beach so they were very careful about making it timeless. And if you notice, the costumes were very classic, like
The knight's armor that he wears to the party.
I think that's
I
more-
liked that outfit.
yeah.
That was very.
and
I love that.
I was obsessed with her angel costume. Obsessed. I wanted to be an angel for years after that.
I have an opinion on that.
What?
Oh my god! I think that her wearing that angel outfit was so symbolic because it's like when she meets Romeo, she's like this untouchable angel, and that's how he sees her. She's very like innocent, and I
Innocent.
think that her being in that costume is very symbolic of her character.
Sure.
And the way that like
Lila.
Romeo sees her.
Go, girl.
I know.
Hey,
I'm
get
such a
it. Hey,
nerd,
get it,
guys.
girl.
Cry right here and now.
Get it, girl.
Such a nerd.
You're so grown up.
Oh yeah, I was obsessed with those, and I think the knight in shining armor is symbolic in a lot of the same ways, but also an homage, I guess, to the medieval. Yes, Joe.
Excuse me, my hand is raised. Permission to make fun.
Yes.
The first time they show Leo in this movie, all three of you, Lila, her mother, and you, all three, like at the same time, like you rehearsed it, gasped. I'm like, oh my god!
Hey, look.
Can you just let me make
Yes.
fun of you, please?
Yes, make fun of us.
I get the draw. I get it. Dude was a handsome young man. Right?
Yes.
He was not just handsome.
But I mean, he was
more than handsome.
But he was close to our age, somewhat.
Yes.
Handsome young dude, but the dude was built like he was 13 years old.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So
That doesn't matter.
he's not big and bulky and muscular, which makes him look young, right? Young enough to play Romeo because they were like 13 and 14 or something.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So Romeo had to look young, but also he had to have the acting chops of someone like Leo. In fact, I don't think the director considered anyone else but him. Like he sort of shaped it around him, the whole theme of the movie around him. Anyway, yeah, we did react.
All three of you
Oh
at the
my
same
gosh.
time.
We audibly went,
Jaw drop.
Now, Lila, 14, I get it. But you two, mid to late 40s.
I know we have no excuse.
Oh my God. Oh my Jesus. Like, all three of you at the same time. And I'm over here like, gag.
Haters gonna hate.
Whatever.
He was so fine. And that opening, first he's writing a poem, and you see with the sun is sort of the backdrop, so his face is sort of darkened.
Oh my gosh.
But then the first time that he walks across the screen and looks at the camera, it's in slow motion. It's just so dreamy.
The way he walks
can't
away after that, he looks at his dad, and you get like the "I hate you" vibe, and then he just walks
Must have
slowly
been tough to
into
be
the
Leo
sunset.
back in the mid-90s.
Yeah.
That's all it took.
Right. So I'm not ashamed of that. I
just want to make fun. Thank you.
But and then I think you brought us back to reality. Were you the one who said after the movie that now he's old and fat?
Yes. Yes. He does not look, I don't think he looks as good anymore. Him and his like old movies when he's younger, he's using Gen Z terms, he's a baddie.
I can tell you, Mary Beth.
He's a baddie?
Yeah, he's a baddie.
Mary Beth is not going to agree with your.
That sounds good, though.
He's a hear me out. Like, he's a hear me out.
That sounds good.
Yes. Both of those things are good.
Okay.
Him when he was younger.
Oh,
he's
when
a
he was
hear me
younger.
out. He's a
Okay.
baddie.
I've never heard that.
But now
a hear me
he's-
out. That's a new thing.
Hear me out.
It's like because I'm 14 and obviously he's an adult, so it's like hear me out. If he was younger, we would be dating.
I understood.
Hear me out.
I
Hear me out.
understood the assignment.
I love it.
Younger Leonardo DiCaprio. He's.
I gotta say, as far as I'm concerned, he has aged like fine wine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so as I was saying, I really appreciate watching it now, the timelessness of it. It feels old and new at the same time.
I really like what you said about the keeping it timeless with all the nuance, like no technology or no.
There's very little that dates it.
I never would have thought of that.
Yeah.
You're so smart.
That's exactly that's the effect it's supposed to have, that you're not distracted by any modern or contemporary references to, current events or life
Did
here
you say you
now.
realized that on your own, or did Baz Luhrmann come out and say that?
I realized it on my own.
You're so much smarter than I.
I know. I just think I consume things differently than you.
No, you are. Just accept it. Can you agree with me on one thing, please? Agree with me.
Never. Well, I think this is a good time to take a break. But Lila, everything you said, that right there is why we wanted you here. Our generation brought the nostalgia. Joe is a late to the party on this one.
Very
Lila's
late.
got the student type lens and the cool hear me outs.
The cool hear me outs.
So we're going to take a break. When we get back, we have some exciting stats to share with you.
Oh my god.
Hot takes, and then we're going to wrap up this conversation about one of the greatest movies of all time.
Hey, listeners, do you like judging people as much as we do?
Then judge us.
To submit your criticisms and complaints about our show, you can reach us at gotohell@bazinga.biz.
For all other comments, questions, or suggestions about future episodes, drop us a line. Send us a text from our website at thebestofgenx.buzzsprout.com and click on the link just above the show notes.
Or email us at thebestofgenx@gmail.com.
All right, we're back. What's so funny?
I just like watching you get situated on your spot over there.
Sheldon Spot.
That's my spot.
All right, so we have some listener feedback. This is from Cindy G from Philly. She says, listening to Best of Gen X brings me right back to those pivotal life stages we all navigate, and it's clear your show always pulls forward topics that matter to our generation. Thank you, Cindy.
Cindy G.
And usually I surprise my brother when I give him some stat updates, but this one was too big that I had to tell him right away as soon as I discovered it. Something big happened, Joe.
I told you, I said something, there was like a glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah.
I haven't deleted that text, by the way. It's like I can't get myself to delete it. It seems too big.
Yeah, I texted him right away. So I check our stats every morning, just part of my routine. And so sometime around the world, sometime between Tuesday, September 23rd and Wednesday, September 24th, there was a disturbance in the force and the Best of Gen X poked through. we saw a huge spike in downloads and in our reach. So last update, we were in 29 countries. Listeners, are you ready to hear this? In 24 hours, we went from 29 countries to 62 countries.
I mean, more than doubled.
More than doubled in a 24-hour period. I sent him a text right away. I was like, this doesn't make sense. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But I said, I've been staring at my computer for like 10 minutes.
When you send me a text and the first word is all caps, dude,
I
know something has happened.
I'm
Good or
even
bad,
passionate.
something has happened.
I'm even passionate in my texting.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it.
I
still
couldn't
can't believe
either.
it.
I still can't.
Because you think about, since we started, how long it would take us. We'd say, oh, we're in 24. Well, we're in 26 now. It would just go up 1, 2.
Yeah.
And then just bam.
So since we make a habit of welcoming the countries, I listed them all that were added.
Let's do it.
Here we go. Welcome all of you to the party. Albania, Argentina, Bahamas, Bahrain, Brunei, Bulgaria, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Ethiopia, Italy, welcome, Kuwait, Malaysia, Mauritius, and forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that, Morocco, Nepal, New Zealand, Norway, Pakistan, Paraguay, my birthplace, the Philippines.
Yeah.
All right. Poland, Portugal, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Sri Lanka, Taiwan, Tunisia, Turkey, Uruguay, Uzbekistan, Venezuela, and Vietnam.
Good
Morning, Vietnam.
That is a lot.
Love that movie.
So we have been really excited to share that ever since that happened.
That is legit.
Yeah, and we had like over 200 downloads in that period, just overnight, which is
Yeah, something happened.
that is rare. Something did happen.
And remember, I joked. I said the one episode where I actually took lead and did the most talking, we just shut up.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Well, to be fair, the downloads were all over like our list of episodes, so it wasn't concentrated to one particular episode. It was just kind of all over the place. Our
Thanks,
numbers
Mary
went
Beth.
up. It was nuts.
Thanks, Mary Beth. Couldn't just give me one.
I couldn't give you that
me
one. So yay, 62
Awesome.
countries.
That is so cool.
All right.
Don't know what to make of it, but that's
I know.
super cool.
I don't know what to think about it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you all discovered us, and I hope that you continue to follow. You guys know what time it is?
I know what time it is.
It's
Hot takes. Hot takes.
Time for some hot takes. Lila.
Lila, we know that you listen to our podcast, so you have to be prepared for a hot take. I know you're prepared.
What you got?
Okay, so my hot take, I think we should be able to wear headgear to school as long as it's not covering our face.
I agree. I've never liked that rule.
Yes, so
I understand where it comes from, but
Sorry,
yes,
explain. Sorry.
let me tell you a story.
you can't wear hats at school.
Oh.
So this was Thursday. So I come to school and I have like a bandana on my head, like I have my hair down and it's on my head. I'm minding my own business. My bandana is not disturbing anybody. You can see my full face. You know who I am. And I am told that I'm breaking the dress code, so I need to take it off. So I take it off, and I'm not very happy because I had to take it off. It was part of my outfit. Like,
Right.
it made the outfit what it was.
I wore
it
a
was,
bandana on my head just the other day. I understand your frustration.
Yes, it was part of my outfit.
So could you have folded it up and made it like a headband and wear it that way?
Well, I didn't think of that, but I probably should have done that.
I wore a headband on my head too in 1996 when Romeo and Juliet came out. That's the last time I wore a headband on my head.
Oh my gosh. And so I was very frustrated that I had to take it off. And I just think that we should be able to wear those kinds of things if it's not covering our face or, because everybody knew who I was. It was not distracting anybody.
Well, I
So-
think bandanas in particular, schools are probably very
They must have assumed I was in a gang.
Exactly. It's got to be gang
It was
related.
a red band. It was a red bandana
Yeah,
too.
so it's got to be gang related. So
I'm not in a gang, guys.
Lila's like, I walked in quietly. I flashed my gang sign appropriately, like everybody. Everybody asked me to.
I don't understand what the big deal was.
Yeah. I said hi to the teacher. I said good morning.
My hot take, and I guess this sort of came from the fact that we are going to be out in the Pacific Northwest. We're going to Seattle. We do have a couple of driving days planned where we're going to look at some Twilight filming sites. And I've been a little uneasy about the crime out there, what I've been hearing, what I've been seeing online from independent journalists about Antifa taking over. They've had a stronghold in that region since 2020. Since
Antifa.
Chaz or whatever it was.
Works. Yeah, I forgot about that. Chaz.
So it's been on my mind, and I just want to put down for the record, for all the world to hear, Antifa, you are a terrorist organization. You are not anti-fascist. You are the fascists. You need to be declared a terrorist organization and just wiped off the map. Not through violence, but just let's...
Get them out.
Yeah.
Get them out of here.
Let's dismantle your stupid, dangerous organization.
I'll even say it a little bit more childish than you. Antifa, you're lame and you're dorks.
You suck in every possible way. You suck.
Yeah, nobody likes you.
Nobody likes you at all.
Okay.
All right.
So
What about you?
if your coffee order is more than 4 words, then you're ordering a milkshake.
You're ordering a milkshake.
Example. My lovely daughter, who is now engaged. We didn't talk about this.
Oh, she got
And our
engaged.
What?
You really just like skimmed by the Pacific Northwest trip. You really, our chit chat, you were quick to get into this episode because you were so excited. My daughter's now engaged. Anyway.
You didn't speak up. I didn't know.
Well, you
was
were so
not-
fast.
I was not informed of this.
It was a drive-by. Speaking of gangs, it was a drive-by. You just drove right by it on the chit chat.
When
But
did this happen?
last month or so. So she tells me, Dad, one day, I have a Starbucks order that you have to try. And it was about 7 words.
Oh my god.
She said, it's a venti iced white mocha latte with extra cream foam and extra caramel drizzle. It took too long.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so it's a milkshake.
Be like us old folks. I'll have a coffee.
Yeah, I drink mine black with 1 pack of Splenda.
I have found myself since Scotland craving a mocha every day.
It was so good.
It was so good. And now I'm wondering, do I need to get myself one of those machines to sit on my kitchen counter so that I can have a mocha anytime I want?
Man,
Coffee
But-
bar?
you'd be committed at that point.
I would hate to invest in that if I didn't know it tasted good.
Yeah. The Wilson Street Pantry, I think, was the best one.
Oh, yes.
First one we had.
So
So
delicious.
good. And they did the little shapes on the top.
The little heart,
Yeah.
the foam heart. So good. Okay. Moving on. It's time for our favorites and our not so favorites. So what do you guys think? The best scene, the best performance, best design choice? Lila, would you like to go first?
Best scene in the entire movie was when Leonardo DiCaprio is sobbing his eyes out. It made me want to cry. It made me want to throw things across the room, and he curses the stars.
Oh,
That was my best performance, best scene
that's when he finds out
that she's gonna die.
That
or
she's
that she's
dead.
dead.
because
Air quotes.
the message from Friar Lawrence has not gotten to him. So he doesn't know that it's all part of the plan, that she's just going to be sleeping. She's faking her death so that they can meet up and be together, whatever. So he doesn't get the message, the right message. He finds out from a buddy that she is dead.
Best performance.
I agree. That's a great scene.
Like the way he cries. He's like on his knees. He looks like he has snot dripping from his nose.
Yeah.
He's just like
It's what
a
the
wreck.
it's what the celebrities call the Oscar moment.
Oscar award.
He's a really good actor, but that's a particularly poignant scene. And I love the way the music builds as he drives off. Whoa. So good. That didn't sound like the music at all.
Ah, come on, Mary Beth. Sell yourself short. Sounded just like it.
What about you, Joe? If you had a favorite.
Not to sound sappy, but I do like, probably my most enjoyable part of watching it was the pool scene where they both kind of interact and jump in the pool together and
Profess their love to each other.
Profess their love, have their kissy little moment. They're trying to hide from the woman up, up on the
nurse.
balcony. Yeah,
I love that it was in a pool.
I just thought that was kind of cool.
It was.
Brought me back to some college memories.
Yeah.
We'll just leave that right there.
Yeah, I
Put
think
a
you
pin in that
should.
one. The least favorite, believe it or not, because I think you guys laughed the most at this, was that gas station scene. Towards the beginning, right?
Yeah.
When you first see John Leguizamo's character and Jamie Kennedy is in it.
Yeah.
And I
Bolt and
I didn't like that part of it. I didn't
Benvolio.
see the point in this.
It set the stage for the family feud.
Okay, I understand that, but there was a lot of screaming, like weird,
Oh, yeah.
high pitched kind of.
That's why I always said it's assaulting. It assaults your senses.
Yeah, and I like Jamie Kennedy, I really do. But he does this like screeching, high pitched something. I don't know. It's like some kind of distress signal. It drove me crazy. I hated that scene. It really bothered me for some reason.
The like, in terms of audio,
Yeah.
the thing that bugs me the most is when she's screaming for Juliet
Oh.
as they're preparing for the party.
Oh.
That goes on a little too long.
Yeah, too long.
It gets on my
Agreed
nerves.
with
But
that.
let's see. Ooh, I loved Lila's favorite moment. I loved the pool scene. I guess for me, my favorite scene is the end with the church. It's when he closes that door after the helicopter shooting at him, and he says one of my favorite lines of the whole play, "Tempt not a desperate man," when he's holding that guy hostage. So he gets in there and he closes the door, and you can hear it shut, and everything just goes quiet.
just the relief.
Yeah, and then he peeks through and sees her down the aisle. He sees her appearing dead, obviously, and the candles and the neon signs and the music is so haunting.
Yeah.
And just that slow walk down to the front where she is. And I don't know, I just
You could really feel the emotion in that scene.
oh, it's as high as it can go. And I love this about Claire Danes. She's very intense and wise beyond her years, as Juliet was. She had a little bit of wisdom about her, but I love that when she wakes up and discovers that he's just drank poison, and that moment where she looks around and kind of gets, when you take a really deep nap and you wake
Yeah.
up and forget where you are?
Yeah.
Okay, she reflects that kind of feeling where she wakes up and he's dead, and she looks around, and it all kind of, you can see it just hit her
Like the horror.
that our plan didn't work. As far as everybody in my life knows, I'm dead. If I go home now, then I have to marry this person I don't want to marry.
I'll probably be called a witch.
So she has no life to go back to. And you see that moment hit her, and she belts out this cry of anguish, the sob of anguish, and she doesn't do the whole timid, pretty cry like any other actress I think at that time would have done, but just this raw outpouring of emotion where she realizes not only is he dead, but I have no life to go back to. That for me is, that hits home the biggest.
Tugs at the heartstrings.
Yeah, and she was promised, or the whole other person was a young Paul Rudd, right?
Yeah.
A young
Which is
Paul
funny.
Rudd. Probably was that right after Clueless, probably. Because I think Clueless was like 94-ish, 95.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Young Paul Rudd. Of course,
Yeah.
that's the same now.
And
but-
so she definitely didn't want to marry him. So I don't know, just the sadness of that moment for her, realizing that there's nothing left for me.
Yeah, you're right. She kind of woke up all distorted,
Yeah.
you know.
And she looks around, and then she just lets out that cry. It's not a pretty cry. And she sells it so damn well. That got me.
Yeah, to kind of piggyback off of your scene, like whenever it's over after she kills herself, like the overhead shot,
girl.
I was like, this is movie gold. Like, you can just see her whole funeral. I think she had the most beautiful funeral I've ever seen in my life.
It was outrageous.
And just that overhead scene, and she's like laying so delicately. I was like, oh my gosh, this just made them dying a little bit better.
That crane shot, just moving up as if
it's like the golden like light, and she's just like
it's as if their souls are leaving their bodies, and you're just looking down on them. That's a great call. Great call. I love the camera work there.
And then after, also seeing that, not really funny, but it was kind of ironic, whenever they like, when the officer guy is standing outside of the church and both their families realize that they're both dead, like they're actually dead now, and that
hits home.
Yeah, the officer guy is like, look what you did. This is your fault because you all couldn't get your act together.
Exactly.
And they're like, oh my God. Like, just their faces, their reaction, they're just like, oh my gosh.
Are you 14 for sure?
Yeah. It's just...
Your insight is very impressive.
I thought it was ironic, and it kind of made me want to chuckle because I was like... Look what you did.
I know.
You were so
angry.
worried about fighting that you didn't even realize that all of this was going on and it could have been fixed, but you can't act right.
You've both lost a child.
Guess what?
F-A-F-O.
Yeah.
PMO.
What's PMO?
Pissed me off.
Oh.
Edit that out.
PMO.
No. Keeping it in.
PMO.
Awesome.
I have, you talked about things that annoy you. I have a cringe moment for me, and it's not really a big deal, but I didn't like it. It was the only thing about the movie I think that I didn't really care for, and I still didn't when I rewatched it again. I hate that the kid in the choir, when I love the song they're singing "When Doves Cry," chorus. It was
so good.
Really
very good,
so
beautiful. And I'm sure it's his voice, but for some reason he's lip syncing, for the filming of it.
Yeah, that kind of annoyed me too. Like, why he looked like he looked like a ghost.
Well,
like his mouth was open.
He was lip syncing he was overdoing it, and for some reason that tiny moment always gives me the cringies.
Make it flow better. It didn't flow very good.
And he just faked it too terribly.
Also,
like
let me move my mouth as I sing.
Yeah, he was trying too hard on the run.
Trying too hard.
Try hard.
Yeah.
Another thing that JoJo said that kind of annoyed me too was, how many times do you have to scream Juliet's name? She has 2 ears. She can hear you. Juliet! Yeah. Oh my goodness. The first scene where they're getting ready and her mom is screaming, her mom has the most annoying voice known to man.
Yeah, her
Whenever
mom
the
is
nurse is
crazy.
screaming for her, like she's trying to say goodbye to her love. Stop saying her name.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that made me so mad. It was so annoying.
Yeah, I would
it.
agree with you there.
I hated it. Worst part of the movie.
I loved the foreshadowing. When he sort of escapes out of her room, out of the balcony, and she throws him the necklace with the ring or whatever, the necklace
With the cross on it.
Yeah, and then it shows his face close up, and he gives that line about seeing a tomb and all that stuff.
His dream in the book, he has a dream about it.
Right. And that brings me to something else I really loved, which was Mercutio. Can we just please talk about how fabulous Mercutio is in this movie?
Although I couldn't really figure out if he was gay or not.
I
saw the drag queen dance, and I was like,
And the way he played off his relationship with Romeo, he was very frustrated with Romeo because he wasn't with the boys. He could tell Romeo was distracted about something. He seemed very jealous.
One.
It seemed like jealousy more than friendship. Mm-hmm. So I wondered about that too. But Harold Perrineau is so good. He actually does an episode in Living Single that I really love.
He's a really good actor.
Where it's implied that he's playing Jesus. It's really cool. It's a cool episode. I love Living Single. But He's so damn good in this movie.
He's a really good
Has
actor.
he been in a lot of stuff recently, or
Not
I
that
say recently, like maybe in the last 15?
I'd have to look it up. I'm not sure.
I'm
I'm not
not-
sure what he's up to now, but he's incredibly talented, and he also brings so much fire.
Oh,
and
he was good.
Spark.
He was good.
Yeah, he was
he packed
fun.
a punch. In that
he was
movie.
the comedic actor. You know how like most of the movies have that one comedic person. He's the
comic
one who
relief.
gets you laughing when the tragedy strikes. But then when he
Exactly.
dies, I was like, it's always the funny ones.
Oh no, this
it's
is
always
funny.
the best
This is funny
ones.
about watching it. Okay, so Mercutio's played by a black actor, and we're watching it, and he just gets stabbed by Tybalt, and Lila goes, "Oh yeah, always killing the black guy."
No,
What did you say?
that's
You're like,
what my
always killing the
mom.
black character.
My mom turned around and she looks at me and she goes, "They're always killing the black people."
Yeah.
And
Black-
I was like,
in
"Yep."
scary movies, black one's always the first to die. No.
Yep. It's always, and they're never the dumb one either. It's always the good ones.
Yeah, they're super
Oh my
good
gosh.
characters.
I remember when we were at home, I think it was Friday, and we were watching this movie on Netflix called Legion. Great movie. Really good movie. But there was this one black guy, and he dies saving the dumb girl in the movie.
Ugh.
And me and Jet were so mad. We were just outraged. And me and Jet were like, "This is ridiculous. Turn it off." I was so mad. He was the best one.
Did you turn all activist on us? Put some signs in your yard.
Stop killing the black actors.
Stop killing the black. Stop killing the black folk.
No, he was good.
Show
was
us
so
some
good.
mercy.
He had a good presence about him.
He did. He had an amazing presence, and
Yes.
and like Lila so astutely pointed out, he was the comic relief because there's always that character that brings the comic relief where the tension, so you don't get a headache. Kind of you have a moment to relax, and he brought that for sure. But just very bold, vibrant, fiery, funny
Yes.
kind of character. I love the way he played it.
He had some good foreshadowing when he died.
Oh yes.
My not really a theory, but when I was thinking about the movie, when I was mentally preparing for this episode, I was like, so Mercutio cursed both their houses, and then Romeo and Juliet die. Wonder if it's his fault, because they were so close. And Mercutio was like, "I curse both of your houses."
Yes, a plague
and then he
on both your
dies.
houses.
And then Romeo goes and kills Tybalt. So then I was thinking, oh, so Romeo got revenge for his best friend. So his best friend gave him a relief because they were both able to die so that they didn't have to live with their horrible families. But they still died because he cursed both of their houses. So they never got to
sorcery.
live
Interesting.
happily together.
Well, it's a really interesting point because
He
one
was a
of
drag queen witch.
one of the themes of all of Shakespeare's plays is wrestling with fate. How much is in our hands and how much is fate? And so you could argue that they were cursed
By
Mercutio or just cursed by fate in general. You could also argue that it was their impulsivity and their immaturity that led to their downfall. That's the tragic hero for you. There's always some kind of character flaw that sort of brings them to their demise. But that's
That's my
again-
conspiracy theory.
Once again, Lila, very well,
my conspiracy
very well
theory.
said.
Man, how valuable is Lila in this episode?
I know. Thank
Goodness gracious.
So, okay. What is the takeaway, do you think? Why does this movie still matter? If you think it matters at all. What is the takeaway? I'll say for Gen X, this movie was a cultural moment. It made Shakespeare cool for a minute. And it showed us that art doesn't have to be stuck in the past. That's kind of the point of this whole podcast, right?
Yes.
Seeing what we grew up with and how it still connects now. Like I said, the timelessness, bringing the old and new together is what I take away from it. Also not to be impulsive, also to think, obviously to give things more thought than these characters obviously did. Joe?
I hope this doesn't sound like I'm stealing your answer, but in my mind, I'm thinking it's kind of a unique, fun way to sort of mesh old and modern, and to keep it interesting enough for somebody like me who would normally, I probably won't go back out and just be running to watch that movie again. But at the time, it really kept me interested and engaged in it the whole time. That sort of mix of old and new.
Yeah, and I think that in our everyday life, we don't talk about Shakespeare nearly enough.
We don't at all.
And I did teach Macbeth for many years. And what I always loved was seeing the kids, seeing those light bulbs go off and teaching them how to read it so that it sounded like normal speech. And seeing, once they understood what was happening, to see their excitement at the beautiful and tragic stories that were unfolding, I just loved that part of it. So anytime we can make Shakespeare relevant to a modern audience, I'm always here for that. What about you? What's the takeaway?
Before you drink poison and kill yourself, look down to make
Look
sure
down. Look down.
that she's not dead.
She was so mad at that part. When
Look
it happened.
down.
Look down.
Me and Lucy. What did Lucy say to you after? Next time he should have looked down before he killed himself.
I'm going to give Lucy some kudos. She was really,
I was so surprised
she watched that movie. She was into it.
because Lucy, you guys don't know Lucy, but Lucy is very hyper. She's a precious little angel baby, but hyper as hell. And so when she was there, I was like, I don't think this girl's gonna be able to handle it. She even brought things to like color or whatever, but she sat on the couch and she didn't make a sound.
She locked in. Gen
Yeah,
Z
did.
terms,
Yeah,
she locked in.
She did.
Locked in.
I like that, locked in.
Yeah.
Locked in. We use that in basketball. So good
We
job.
Yeah.
need to start using that on this podcast. that
I will
phrase.
teach you all the Gen Z terms you need to know.
I think I might need that. All right, so
Locked in.
finally, would you recommend this movie to your generation?
Yes and no. I would recommend it because I like it. I think it's a good movie. I think that people in my generation would like it. The boys, not so much. They would not like it. But the girls, I think they would. I think they would enjoy it. The reason I say no is because if you don't read it and know a lot of the background context and things, it would be kind of hard for them to
They'll
follow.
probably just give up on
Yeah,
it.
and it's not
Yeah.
like we've talked about.
They
it's
wouldn't
not,
lock in.
We're not talking about a normal director. We're talking about Baz Luhrmann, and he is famous for this very unique style, and it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
It's definitely not for everyone.
Yeah, there'd probably be a lack of appreciation for the actual story itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think they would appreciate it as much. Our generation definitely doesn't read a lot of books. I think that's why they wouldn't like it.
I have to say,
Spend too much time on TikTok.
my daughter's 20, and she's hated reading since like 6th grade. She loved it, and then suddenly there was just this clear break, and I think a lot of it was COVID. Like that's when it's just sent her off a cliff where she hated school forever and ever. But I worry about your generation not reading and not thinking.
My gosh, it's bad.
Like as cool as AI must be for you as a student, like as neat as a tool it must be if you're struggling to understand whatever you're going over. I still worry that it's just spoon feeding your generation things and not allowing them to sit quietly and think about what they
Yes.
read. I could go on for days. That's a whole other episode.
That's a thing that I like about my English teacher. He actually asks us questions about what we're reading, and I was actually surprised. So we were reading the short story called The Friendship Bench in English, and it was about mental health and stuff like this. It was a fictional story. This girl gave up all her memories because she wanted to forget her pain.
Ooh.
And
Sounds right
she
up Mary
gave
Beth's
them
alley.
to this. She gave him to this healer, and he asked us, what we thought about it, and how it made us feel, like our kind of hot takes on it. And a lot of people said that she shouldn't have done that because she should just, work through her pain. I was just surprised because there were a lot of mature answers that I didn't expect from
that's good.
our generation because, we use AI so much.
That fills me with hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That people
I
had
was
something to say about it.
actually I was genuinely surprised. I was like, maybe our generation isn't doomed after all. But
You're so smart.
But I guarantee you 100% when we read Romeo and Juliet in the spring, I'm going to be the only one who knows what's going on because everybody's going to be like,
Huh?
Mr. Hill, what does art thou mean? And I'm gonna. That's gonna be a sad time.
I may have to come in and give a PowerPoint. Oh wait, we don't probably don't do PowerPoint. PowerPoint.
Oh
anymore.
no, we
Hello,
we
2003.
do. We still do PowerPoints and things. I should recommend.
I'll show scenes from the movie and I'll stop and then break it down with everybody. But it's great.
Explain the language.
It's always great when you have a teacher, an English teacher in particular, who allows students the safety to say exactly how they feel about something. Like I would always encourage my students, not liking it is an answer.
Yeah.
Just be able to explain why. Let's dive in. Let's figure it out. And if students feel safe in answering and responding authentically to what they're reading, that's a good sign. So
it was also fun too because he turned it into a debate because he was like, well, I think this. I think that, it's good for her to give up her memories, because she was in pain. Mm-hmm. And then it made it more fun because the kids in our class were like, well, I don't think that that's smart.
Yeah.
And it kind of turned into a debate. So then more people joined in and gave their opinion. And they were actually,
great.
I was genuinely surprised.
That's actually a really good insight, Mary Beth, or a point that you made. I think young kids, even when I was young, or we were young, it's almost like your opinion, you never felt like it mattered. No, I shouldn't say matter. You never felt like your opinion counted unless it was a positive or you agreed with something.
Exactly.
Like it wasn't legitimate unless you agreed with it.
Exactly. I that was one of the very first things I told my students.
That's a great point that you made.
I was like, you are going to respond to it. You need to think about it. And I invite criticism. I want to know why you didn't like it. And you got to make students feel safe to give those responses. And I let them know right off the bat. So that's good to hear that your class was engaged in something that they were reading. That's awesome.
Yes. I wish that we did more Shakespeare in our English class, though. If I could do Macbeth, I would just ask Mr. Hill to just let me teach the class for the day. I would ask him to just let me teach the class for the day because I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Macbeth is my favorite Shakespeare of all time. Romeo and Juliet is right up behind it.
That's awesome.
And then
I feel like I have in some way contributed to that.
You have. I feel like
Lila's very advanced
She
for
is.
her age. She's very thoughtful.
I remember you talking to my mom about me asking you so many questions about Macbeth.
I thought it was so cute because you were so little.
And she was like, she asked better questions than my students do.
Yeah, some real head scratchers.
I'm such a nerd.
Well, hey, from one nerd to another.
She's throwing the hands up. Nerds unite.
Nerds unite. It was awesome having you. So there you have it, folks. We have 3 very different takes on a very iconic movie. Lila, thank you so much for joining us, and I must say, a hearty well done.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for listening to another piece of the Gen X experience worth saving. A 90s obsession, a midlife first watch, and a freshman's fresh take on Romeo and Juliet has now been immortalized in the annals of history. If you like what you heard, subscribe to the Best of Gen X wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. Lila, a pleasure. Joe, always a pleasure.
Duh.